Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the Ellen Carrington Show. I am happy to have yet another guest this week, and she was originally scheduled for October 16th, but we ended up rescheduling due to technical issues that happened on that day. And hopefully today will be the second charm. And with that, I am proud to introduce the author of Lovin' the Skin You're In, Andrea Amador. Welcome to the show, Andrea, and thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Lori. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your work. I have your book right here, in fact, on my desk. Very dog-eared. We can learn a lot from this book. It's fantastic. I've read it several times already, and uh, found a lot of things out about myself and how, we can tell us why we're so hungry. And it's not always because we're ready to eat or whatever. It's pretty much covering up emotions or whatever. So tell us a little bit about your work and what's up you're currently.
You're absolutely right. It's not about food. The problem that a lot of women think is they believe that they're out of control and they have no self-control around food. It's not that at all. It's like the wool has been pulled over our eyes for years and years, believing as dieters that something's wrong with us, that all we have to do is push ourselves away from the table. Oh my God, it's not that at all. It really has to do with the responses that we have to the stress in our lives. And if our go-to method tends to be food, if that's how we find safety, if that's how we find comfort in our lives, it only makes sense for us to go back to food each time over and over again. And the problem is that we create more problems for ourselves when we beat up on ourselves for doing that, for going back and overeating or binging or, doing whatever it is that is the tendency to give ourselves comfort. A lot of women, they don't have issues with food, but maybe it's smoking. Maybe it's, having that extra cocktail. Oh, hello. Maybe it's burning up the credit card. Been there, done that.
Oh, I've done that too. So
Yeah.
more times than I can count, in fact.
Yes. But the thing to keep in mind is that whatever the tendency is, whatever our challenge is, we have to realize it's not because we're a bad person. It's something that we have recognized as a coping method for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing we have to do is just forgive ourselves. Nobody's perfect. You have to look at self-acceptance as a new beginning.
So let me ask you a little question about this. There's a lot of the media pressure and, from even outside influence among our people that we love that, thin is in, size 2 is perfect, and if you don't fit into that mold, something's wrong with you. You don't have any control or whatever. What do you think about that?
Oh my gosh, that is such a tragedy. And to believe that, which was my mistake, I let that rule my life for like a million years. I'm 50 going on 51. I bought into that for so many years that because of the fact that I didn't fit that size 2, size 4 mold, something was drastically wrong with me. And because of that, I didn't step out. I didn't allow myself to take risks and to do things that I wanted to do because I felt that I was fatally flawed. And I want women to realize that they are so much more than just a number on a scale. As you wrote in your book, Beautiful, I absolutely loved that book. Your character, oh boy, she's not coming to mind, but the beautiful woman who rented the apartment to Adam, the gorgeous guy.
Yeah, Alan, yeah.
Okay.
Close enough.
She had this belief because she was married for years to this guy who treated her, disrespectfully and just, like garbage. That because she was overweight, because she was plus size, something was wrong. And so it meant that she had to settle for this kind of treatment. And that is not okay in any way.
Oh, of course, and I went through that too. And I have boyfriends. I'm like, well, this is the best I'm going to do. I might as well just ride it out. But it was I gotten older and I started exploring things and getting into the whole, empowerment groups and lots of therapy. And I find out, and then I read this book. I mean, this book is like a Bible to me now.
Oh, I love that. Can I quote that?
And it's like, you know what? I spent all these years settling when I could have held out for something better, and something better eventually did come along, even though there's a 12-year age difference, and he's just great, even though sometimes he does things to drive me nuts, but I think all men are like that, and we just have to roll with it pretty much.
Oh my
but,
gosh.
But overall, he's a great guy, so I
I'm
can't
in the same
complain.
boat as you. My husband is 11 years older, and I'm starting to notice the differences now where I was just talking to my son today and saying that so many times that my husband has this way of, it's either the tone of his voice or a look that, says, I'm older than you. And it harkens back to my relationship with my dad that still has so much unresolved issues around it. It means that I have to keep on doing my work and clearing my backyard so that I could have a clean relationship with my husband and not go back and play that little girl. Because as long as I play the little girl role within my marriage, it's devastating. I have to step up and say, hey, honey, the way you looked at me, that didn't feel right. Just to bring attention continually to things that irritate you, that frustrate you. That's one of the things I talk about in my book is keeping a bug list and handling those issues in your life that give you cause to be frustrated for any reason, whether it's a broken tile in the bathroom or, a crooked hanging picture or a person who puts you down all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't feel that we're worthy enough to make a statement and say, hey, this is not okay with me, then we will continue to send ourselves the message subconsciously, this is all I'm deserving. This is all I can have. And then that goes right back to the feeding of the self-perpetuating cycle of the eating and the binging and feeling sorry for ourselves. It's horrifying.
Okay. Actually, another thing I actually got familiar with was the subject of emotional freedom training, or EFT. Read a lot about this, and I never heard of it before I read your book. And I'm sure a lot of people out there who are listening today probably haven't heard of it either. How would you like to touch on that a little bit?
Oh my gosh, EFT, emotional freedom technique, is amazing. It has changed my life, and it is something that is gaining such wide exposure in terms of moving into the mainstream. It's been, people have done work using EFT with genocide survivors in Rwanda and veterans suffering with PTSD. And my particular experience is that very, very painful memories that I had surrounding sexual abuse from my past were addressed and neutralized. And prior to that, you talk about therapy, I had done like 18 and a half years to, reconcile the pain from my past. And there was always these little niggling memories, these things that would pop up that would get triggered watching the news or listening to somebody talk about someone being molested, or just feeling like you're always on edge. When someone had shown me how to do the EFT, it was such a groundbreaking moment for me because it finally gave me the peace inside of myself to realize that the anger and the fury that I held toward those who had hurt me, those who had abused me, as long as I continued to withhold forgiveness of them, I was the only person suffering.
Hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much what I had to do too. Um, Actually, I'm going to look at something here out of the book. Getting clear with emotionally honest communication. While teaching parents new ways of communicating with their kids, I learned this simple form of epic. It's called when, feel, want technique. It's a great way of talking to people without falling into the trap of blaming and shaming. It gives you an opportunity to share your feelings and state what you need from the other person. Here are several examples of how to use it. When, describe the behavior. I feel, describe your feelings. I want, say what you want. For example, when you come home late for dinner and don't call to let me know, I feel unappreciated, disrespected, and ignored. I want you to call when you know you'll be late. I found that, that's a pretty good form of communication too, and sometimes we tend to get lost in that kind of thing when we're angry with somebody and then eventually head for the refrigerator or whatnot.
Yes, because the tendency is to fall into blaming mode. Oh, you're such a rat bastard. How could you do that to me? That kind of explosive behavior and an exchange is not going to serve a relationship. So what we need to do is be able to step back, step outside of ourselves, and change the experience of what we're feeling. And the very best way to do that is to neutralize it by using the EFT first, and then you can use techniques like the when, feel, want, so that you can be more neutral and feel more calm about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But what the tendency is there's this part of our brain called the amygdala that is like a sensor switch, like a warning bell. And whenever we are under any kind of a pressure situation, or whenever we feel threatened in any way, whenever our survival feels like it's threatened either by somebody threatening to hurt us, or our shelter being, something, feeling unsafe in our home, or feeling nervous about doing something that will draw attention to us, all of these situations create a fear, a panic in us. And that button, that part of our brain goes off and signals, hey, red alert, red alert, red alert, we're going to die. And the truth is, we're not going to die. But in the same way that this is hardwired to our survival instinct, our bodies feel like we're going to die with all of these threats that pop up 50 to 100 times a day. So you could open up a final bill notice in the mail, and all of a sudden you feel your heart is racing, and your hands get clammy, and you get sweaty, and you start, like feeling nauseous and terrified, thinking of the worst possible situation that could happen. It's the same as when, as if you'd be chased by a tiger or something. You feel that sense of panic. So when we take the out, or when we go reach for the comfort foods, it's our brain's way of recognizing, hey, this is something that has worked before to calm us down. Eat the food, lower the blood sugar, create a sense of, okay, I can breathe again. And then use that. But that's just a Band-Aid. So by using the emotional freedom technique, what you're actually doing is the emotional freedom technique is developed from the process of acupuncture. Acupuncture is a 5,000-year-old science, and it's based on tapping into comfort spots throughout your body. We actually have these comfort spots that when we touch them, we are activating a chemical release of that creates muscle relaxants going through your body. At the same time, it pairs a signal to your brain, telling your brain that whatever it is that you're thinking, whatever fearful, anxiety-ridden thought that you're thinking, that it's going to be okay. Because when you're in a panic mode, all of your blood rushes to your forebrain and you can't think. Have you ever gotten this sense of feeling like, oh my God, I'm going out of my mind?
Oh, always.
Yeah.
If I had $1 for each time, I'd be wealthy by now.
That is an example of stress that's flooding your body. So the way that we can relieve this stress is I'll teach you and the listeners the points. The first point is the side of either one of your hands. You know, where a martial artist would break a block of wood. That's called the karate chop point. Either your right or your left hand. And you tap on that. And at the same time that you tap on that, let me just explain that emotional freedom technique really gives you the benefits to think about what it would be like in terms of a bridge. It would be like having an incredible massage at the same time that you're experiencing a breakthrough at a therapist's office. So imagine the most relaxing, energizing, and relieving sense of body relaxation that you can have. Whatever it is that is bothering. So as you're tapping on this part, this side of your hand, either the left or the right, you're going to say whatever it is that you feel. You're going to look at a target. You need a target. So give me an example, Lori, of something recently that has upset you. Maybe it was getting stuck in traffic or whatever it could be. Or if there's another listener who would like to, share their thoughts.
I would say lately, see, the most recent incident was an incident I had with the bank that they messed up something on my account, but oh, geez, that was a mess. But the old me probably would have said, you know what, just let it go, let it work itself out. And then this time it's like, no, I'm going to get in there, find out what's the matter. Give them a call, say, hey, this is the situation, it should have been done. You told me it's going to be done the other day, it's still not done. What's going on? Look into it, explain it, get back to me, or I'll get back to you within a certain amount of time.
Okay, so you want to take the feeling of what you were experiencing. What would you say that was?
Well, I'd say at first I was angry.
Okay.
And secondly, probably the old me, like I said, the old me probably would have, let it go and say everybody's a crook or whatever. But the new me, I'm like, wait a minute, let's find a way to resolve this, find out what's going on. And by the time I contacted them, I was a little calmer.
That often happens because we kind of burn out, and at the same time that our energy is changing and shifting, we are able to think more clearly. That panic button stopped like rattling you, and all of a sudden you started to be able to think, oh, okay, well, maybe this is going to work out. It's not the end of the world.
And it did work out, It took about a week, but it worked out.
Okay, let me walk with you and the listeners how to do this in terms of just confronting the emotion. So let's say you're really angry about something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I'm like really, really angry about something, I'm not going to gently tap on the side of my hand.
No.
I have so much energy pulsing through my body. I'm feeling furious. So what I do is I just bang on the side of my hand. There is nobody who will recommend to do this but me. but it seems to be more congruent with the energy of anger. And I find that it works so, so well. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do it.
Okay.
So you're going to tap or bang on the side of your hand, and as though you were angry, as though you could regenerate that feeling of anger, you're going to bring it out in your voice. And you're going to say, even though I'm so angry. Even though I'm so angry and everything's going wrong and nothing is going right and the bank screwed everything up and I can't do anything the way that I want to do because it's all the bank's fault and I'm so furious with them.
Plus, I called him a few names that weren't very nice.
Absolutely. I give you all cursing coupons. So after you get all of that venting out, you're going to end by saying, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm so furious that the bank screwed everything up, they screwed everything up, and I'm so frustrated and nothing is working out the way it should, and this has caused all of these problems, and it's so unfair, and my life is so screwed up, and everything is wrong. I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Oddly, that sounds, it works.
That. Okay, that's exactly what happens. That shifts your energy. You start thinking differently. You can do this several times. The traditional mechanical form of EFT is you do 3 statements and ending up with the affirmation statement, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. A lot of people don't feel comfortable with that, so you could change it to anything you want. I respect how I feel. I'm okay anyway. This will probably all work out. It's all going to be fine, whatever it is. But what you want to do is you want to create a suggestion. You want to create a suggestion so that you're changing the way that you feel. You're going to be tapping in, because when you tap on the side of your hand, you're kind of putting yourself in a light trance, and you are suggestible. You are receiving, open to suggestions. So as you're tapping on this point and you're venting, you're angry about this screw up at the bank, you say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Or if that doesn't work, I'm sure I'll figure it out, or I'm so angry with them. And no, actually, when you're really angry, what you want to do is you just want to flow with the emotion of anger, and you just want to vent. So as you're tapping on the side of your hand and you're venting, and you're just saying whatever it is that is coming to mind, just allow your intuition to well up and just say what it is that you're thinking, and don't censor yourself. That's the most important thing, is not to censor yourself. Just say whatever it is. Don't say, oh, I shouldn't be thinking that or saying that or whatever. And what will happen is, because you are tapping on that acupressure endpoint to neutralize the way that you're feeling, to send your brain new pulses to think about this bank situation in a fresh new way, you're going to notice that your body is going to respond. Maybe at the same time that you're thinking about this bank situation, you're also noticing that you have like a feeling like a sourness in your stomach, or a crick in your neck, or your leg is tensing up, or something like that. That is because the mind and body are connected. Mm-hmm. And the negative, the blocked energy that is affecting your mind is also showing up in your body.
Okay. Have about a few minutes remaining in the show, about 5 minutes. We did want to touch on one more thing. The face-to-face Google Hangout coaching you're having this it's Thursday, the 7th. Yeah, it's 7th. That's tomorrow.
Yes.
Tell us about a little bit about that and how we can
Okay.
join in.
Okay. I am one of 17 experts in a giveaway. It's called Finding Love Giveaway, and it's hosted by Amy Schoen, and she is a relationship and dating expert for motivatedtomarry.com. And as part of that, I am giving away a copy of my book and two of my audios, the Relax CD that goes through all of the points of how to do emotional freedom technique. And the other, I have 5 10-minute podcasts called Losing Weight Without Dieting, which talks about a program that I have developed called Losing Weight Without Dieting. And the whole idea of it is to teach women the connection between why food is not the issue and to find a way of making peace with food. And that's what I've done. I've created a system and developed that to teach women how to make peace with food and friends with their body. So this hangout is an answer and an opportunity for those who want to opt in and receive those freebies of mine, in addition to the 16 other experts, to get those freebies as well, to also participate in my hangout. The hangout will give them an opportunity to meet me and talk to me and ask me any question they have. So the best way to find out about that is through my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/The Juicy Woman. And there will be the invitation there. And that will also direct them to how they can get more information and download all of the 17 experts goodies on finding love and keeping love and everything to do with maintaining a loving relationship, in addition to all of the goodness that I bring in terms of body image and self-esteem and self-acceptance.
Okay, looking forward to that. And once again, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. And everybody, I expect you pick up her book, Loving the Skin You're In, either on www.thejuicywoman.com. It's also on sale at Amazon. Andrea, thank you. Looking forward to you tomorrow night at Google Hangout. And I'll be talking with you again on next Wednesday on your show.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Everyone, have a good day. We'll be back here next Wednesday, November 13th. Hope to see all of you then. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.